Thank you for having me.
What President Mahama has said, is this something you would teach in your governance class to future leaders, to say to them that this is how to crack the whip and it will work?
I guess you're talking about the salaries that have been pegged to.
Yes, he says. Yeah. He says that if you have not declared your salary, you have not declared your assets within the period that has been directed to you. First of all, you're going to forfeit your salaries for 3 months. You're also going to donate one of your monthly salaries to the Ghana Mahama Cares project, where we are going to deal with healthcare challenges and how to fix them. And if you do not obey his instructions, he kicks you out of his government.
Yeah. Well, in the first place, I think those who defied the presidential directive, who are now being penalized by losing 3 months of their salary, I wish the president had taken a more, stringent kind of decision on that, because this was a presidential directive made publicly. So for any appointee to have their country to defy the president's directive, I think it's a much more serious issue. But of course, I think the president has acted humanely by being magnanimous and simply saying, well, at least for the first time, I'm just docking 3 months of your salary. But if you fail within the next 20 hours or so, then you are gone. You lose your job. So I think he deliberately put on some human face in this respect. As for the salary, it's a very interesting way to sanction someone who has defied your orders, because salaries. I don't know whether that was a pre-negotiation or not, but as somebody has said, if you are taking my 3 months salary away, how am I going to pay for my rent? How am I going to feed my family? So all these questions become important. So perhaps there was an internal discussion and appointees accepted this kind of sanction. But truly, that wasn't my preference for those who defied the presidential directive.
What would you rather he did or said?
Well, if I say outrightly that they should have been fired, of course, that would be a bit extreme for many people. But truly, you see, I take presidential directives seriously. The president is the executive head of the country, wielding all these powers. So if you are appointed by the president and he gives an order and you blatantly defy it, it's an insult to the president. That's the way I see it. In that respect, I would have fired you right away. Okay? That didn't happen, and he had decided otherwise. So I won't begrudge the president of his discretionary powers to decide on what to do, but certainly it wasn't a good show by those who defied his powers. And I think dismissals would have been perhaps a more dignified way to treat them. Also to show the seriousness of this particular action.
A first warning, you do not think is proper?
Well, if it was a warning, fine. Then the salary issue may not have come.
The salary is part of the warning. So the next thing is you go
out. So taking somebody's salary is not a warning. It's really depriving the person of his livelihood. So it's not a warning. See? It's not a warning at all. I guess, as I said, this president is very humane in many ways. So I'm not surprised he chose this kind of approach in order not to perhaps jeopardize the political careers of some of those he has appointed. So I think he simply has put up a human face on an issue that otherwise could have been a more serious, matter to handle.
Prof, you made a statement. You said this president is very humane in many ways. Mind expatiating on that?
Yes.
It sounds very,
Oh, yes. I know the president, and I think, if you know the president, you know that he's not the type who will easily, shoot someone with a cane. That could be a weakness in a way, if you're a leader and you cannot take a firm stand, that in itself could be a weakness. But I think in this case, and I really wish maybe 2 weeks to the deadline, you could have sent a quiet reminder to those people that, look, don't forget I told you by 31st March, if you have not done this, you'll be gone. If that had been done, I'm sure this situation could have been avoided. And if it was done and they still defy him, then of course today we have expected outright dismissal. So again, it's a matter of approach and how he wants to handle his own appointees.
This humaneness you mentioned, is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Look, if you're a leader, there are so many factors you take into account in making final decisions. I'm sure maybe prior to his announcement today, perhaps there was some meeting to find a way to mitigate how he was going to sanction them and all. And knowing Ghana as I do, I'm sure people may have gone privately to plead, Mr. President, So maybe the salary thing was a compromise. Again, we are speculating here because I don't know exactly what transpired. But all I'm saying is that Mr. President could be a bit gentle on this matter. But frankly, if he goes on like that, then people are going to see him as a weak leader. So I think this should be the last time any of his appointees should defy him. Otherwise, you should expect a more drastic stance by the president.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
My pleasure.
That's Professor Baffour. He's a